Hello everyone, I'm Saurabh Badane. I'm from Cornell University, and today I'll be talking about estimating entropy of distributions in constant space. This is a joint work with Jaydev Acharya, Piotr Indek, and Zitomson. So here's a brief outline of the talk. We'll first look at two frameworks under which entropy estimation is studied, namely distribution property estimation and streaming algorithms. We'll be interested in the intersection of these two frameworks. Um, After stating our central result, we look at a simple algorithm and then build upon that to present our main algorithms. All right, so let's dive into distribution property estimation. We are concerned with discrete distributions over domains of size k. The domain could be arbitrary, but for simplicity, we'll stick to the first k integers. Here, our goal is to estimate some property f given IID samples x1 to xn from an unknown distribution p. So a property estimation algorithm outputs an estimate f hat such that uh, f hat is close to the true property f with a high probability for all p, right? And we'll use the term sample complexity to mean the least number of samples that can achieve this task. And here the goal is to minimize sample complexity. So now we come to streaming algorithms. Here the input is a stream of elements x1 to xn, and this stream is fed to an m-bit streaming algorithm, which you can think of it as a finite state machine with 2 to the m states that updates its state based on the previous state and the current input. And the output of the finite state machine is a function of the last state. And here the task is to compute the statistics of the stream. And there's a huge line of work considering various statistics of the stream. And the overarching goal is to minimize the space that is required to compute these statistics. Unlike the distributional property estimation framework, here there are no distributional assumptions on xi's. So until recently, both these frameworks have developed independently. So it seems natural to bridge these two frameworks and ask a central question, which is how to estimate properties of distributions in limited space. And in today's talk, we'll focus on entropy, which is a property that has been extensively studied in both these frameworks. All right, so before proceeding, here's the precise definition of entropy. Entropy of a discrete distribution is the sum of p of x log 1 over p of x and summed over all uh, elements in the domain. For the purposes of this talk, we'll assume the epsilon parameter to be a constant 0.1, and we'll be interested in sample complexity dependence only on the domain size k. Uh, Perhaps the most natural estimate for any property estimation task is the plugin estimator, which is essentially just plug in the uh, empirical distribution into the property, and that's the output. So Paninsky showed that for entropy, when n is order k, the empirical entropy is additively close to the true entropy of the underlying distribution. And for large n, this estimator is optimal. But in the data starved regime, where k is much larger than n, the number of samples, uh, it can be shown that the sample complexity is sublinear in k. So using theta k by log k samples, one can get an optimal entropy estimation algorithm. Uh, with respect to our goal, the only downside is that these algorithms require storing all samples in memory. So moving on to the streaming model. Here, our task is to estimate entropy of the stream in minimum space. So before that, I should define what our unit of space is. Our unit of space is words of memory, so which is basically a block of log k plus log 1 over epsilon bits. And why so? Because log k is needed to store the sample, and log 1 over epsilon is needed to express entropy up to accuracy epsilon. So there is a streaming algorithm proposed by Harvey et al. That estimates entropy in order log square n words of space. Uh, but in the streaming model, since there is no distributional assumption on xi, there's no question of estimating the true entropy of the distribution. Streaming algorithms always estimate the entropy, the empirical entropy. And since we are interested in designing streaming algorithms to estimate the entropy of the underlying distribution P, uh, based on whatever we know so far, here's a candidate algorithm for this task. So you sample order k samples, and due to Panizzi, we know that the empirical entropy is close to the true entropy after sampling order k samples. And we simply pass these samples to a streaming algorithm to reduce the space to order log square k. And so now we have an algorithm that uses linear in k number of samples and polylog k space in words. The question is, can we do better than this k? And turns out that we can do better in some sense. So we provide an algorithm that estimates the entropy of the distribution using linear number of samples and constant words of space, as opposed to log square k words of space. Now, before we get into the details of our main algorithm, let's look at a simple algorithm that uses constant space, but also slightly more number of samples than we would like. So this algorithm is built upon viewing the entropy as the expectation of log 1 over p of x. So this view suggests a very simple algorithm. Obtain a sample from the distribution, estimate the probability of this sample using n samples. So estimate p of xi using n samples. And now simply plug this into log 1 over p of x to get estimate of log 1 over p of x for that sample x. And now you iterate these procedure r times to concentrate towards the mean of log 1 over p of x, which is nothing but the entropy. So at a very high level, n controls the estimate of p of xi, and r controls the concentration to the entropy. Now, even this simple algorithm almost gets us to order k log square k samples and constant words of space. And the analysis is straightforward. There are two components. One is the bias component and the other is the concentration component. To reduce the bias, n has to be order k, and the range of the estimates, that's what influences r. The range of the estimates is almost log k, and that's why r is equal to order log square k is sufficient for this. Turns out that you cannot improve on the parameters n and r for this particular algorithm. So if that's the case, how do we get rid of the log square k factor? To look at that, let's look at some special distributions and gain some more insight. Consider a distribution that has all probability mass in a small interval from 1 over 10k to 10 over k. And let's think of applying the same simple algorithm for this special distribution p. We see that the value of n is order k as before. That doesn't change. But the value of r can be much smaller. And this is because since the interval is small, the interval for the range of estimates is also small. So that also lies between log k minus log 10 to log k plus log 10, which implies that r is enough to be a constant. Now let's look at another example. Here p is such that all probabilities are large. And so now in this case, r remains the same, order log square k, because the range of estimates is roughly log k. But we can get away with a smaller value of n. N can be much smaller because we know that the smallest probability is at least log square k by k. So n can be order k by log square k. So to summarize, we saw that if we know that the probabilities lie in a smaller interval, we can get away with using a smaller r. And if we know that the probabilities are large, we can get away with a smaller n. Right? So now let's see how we can combine these insights to come up with a better algorithm. So to combine the previous two distribution examples into one, let's partition the 0 and line segment into two intervals, I1 and I2. So here I2 is the small probability interval from 0 to log k to the beta by k, and I1 is the large probability interval from log k to the beta by k to 1. Using the grouping property, the entropy can be expressed as a weighted sum of contributions from these two intervals. So by contributions, I mean H1 and H2 are the entropy conditioned on symbols being in the respective intervals, and the weights are the probabilities of these intervals. Now, to simulate such a conditional entropy conditioned on symbols being in ij, for now, let's say we have access to an oracle that receives the symbol x as input and outputs the interval in which p of x lies. So each of these h1 and h2 can be estimated using this oracle and the simple algorithm as well. So for the large probability I1 interval, we can get away with a smaller value of n1 because we know that the least probability is at least L. And but R1 is the same since it's a large interval, whereas for the range of estimate is still order log k. For the small probability interval, we know that n2 has to be order k, but for R2 something interesting happens. Because of this particular choice of partition at log k to the beta by k, it turns out that the range of estimates can be restricted to order log k instead of log k as before. And that's where we get our sample complexity savings. So with this algorithm, we see that we have reduced the sample complexity from order k log square k in the simple algorithm to order k log k square samples and constant words of space. As before, the error has a bias component and a concentration component, but now it also has a clipping error component since the range of the low probability interval has to be artificially clipped. But this is just a technicality. What's more important is the observation that will help us ahead, which is that the sample complexity is dominated by the small probability interval I2. Right? So, okay, we have an algorithm that gives us order k log k square samples, but it's still not linear, which is what we wanted. So how do we further improve this two interval algorithm? A natural idea here is to partition I2 again, because we saw that the sample complexity was dominated by the low probability interval. So why not, create another small partition uh, that might help in improving the sample complexity. So turns out that it does. I hope that it's not too hard to believe that once you partition I3 such that it's 0 comma log k to the beta by k, and we have I1 as before and I2 is the remaining interval, the sample complexity further reduces by another log k factor and becomes order k log k square, and the memory is still constant. So now here's the natural question: how far can we keep on doing this? Right? We want to keep partitioning these intervals until the number of iterations for the last interval becomes a constant. Now remember that we've already seen such an example where this happened when we considered a distribution whose probability mass interval entirely lied in 1 over 10k and 10k. So essentially, we would like the smallest probability interval to be 0 comma some constant by k, and that would give us a constant number of iterations. And this happens when t is equal to log star k, which is in simpler words, it's the amount of times you need to iterate log so that you the final result is less equal to 1. And so now this gives us an algorithm with linear number of samples and constant words of memory. There are multiple future directions of interest. On the algorithm side, one question is there an algorithm with optimal sample complexity that uses at most polylog k space? On the lower bound side, there's a question of what is the lower bound on space for a sample optimal entropy estimation algorithm. And so that with that we come to the end of the presentation. Thank you so much, and you're welcome to check out the paper on arXiv.